Hi everyone, I'm Krishanti. I warmly welcome you to the British Council IELTS live information session. Today we will be sharing some useful tips which you can use when you are preparing for your reading and speaking test. This session will feature a short question and answer time towards the end. So, if you have any questions related to IELTS, please feel free to post your questions in the comments section below, and we will be answering your questions at the end. And today we have Mr. Naren Moharanjitan, our IELTS expert, to show you how you can prepare for your IELTS test efficiently and effectively. I hope you will find this session interesting and useful. Over to you, Naren.
Thank you. Thank you, Krishanti, for that wonderful. Thank you very much for that wonderful introduction. And today, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let us see how we can prepare ourselves effectively and efficiently to sit for the International English Language Testing System and obtain the results that you are looking for. Let us understand the test better. What is this test about? I'm given to understand that this forum is open for everybody, irrespective of whether you have registered for the exam or not, or maybe there may be some people here who already know about the exam. Others may be very much unaware of what is this exam. So to cater to both sides, we are going to talk about the test, how to prepare mainly for two skills, reading and speaking today. But if we have time, let us continue. First of all, there are two modules in IELTS. They are IELTS International English Language Testing System Academic, which is mostly required for higher studies, and in some cases for recruitment for job purposes also. Whereas IELTS general training, it is for mostly migration. Some colleges also require general training. They say it's enough for us. It all depends on who are you preparing this IELTS for. Is it for a job, or is it for migration, or immigration services? We have two modules, the two delivery modes. One is paper based. We also known as PB. So whenever I say PB, please say that. Please understand it. I'm talking about paper-based PB, and we have another delivery mode that is CD, computer delivered. That is IELTS exam, the same exam done on computer. So first thing you need to understand is both are the same. The content is the same. The questions will be also the same. The types of questions will be same. Only difference is you are doing it on screen when it comes to CD. You are doing it on pen and paper or pencil when it comes to PB, paper based. Another important feature of PB and CD, the difference is, if you do it on CD, you will receive your IELTS results in 3 to 5 days, whereas PB takes at least 13 working days. Now there are 4 skills tested: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Now, what do you mean by listening? You will be listening to people talking, and there will be interviews. There can be lectures given by experts, or conversations between a telephone receptionist and also a customer, or a hotel receptionist and a customer, or two college students talking about a certain subject, or two friends talking about something for that matter. And there will be 4 sections. Each section contains 10 questions. So altogether you will have to answer 40 questions. Roughly the listening test takes around 30 to 35 minutes. And then comes reading. Reading, you have 40 questions. I am talking about both academics and general. We have 40 questions. There are 3 sections. Section 1 to 3. Section 1 is easier than section 2. It go on in the difficulty level. The difficulty increases once you go up. So there you need to understand and answer passages, 3 passages in academic, slightly more passages in general. You have to answer 40 questions, within 1 hour, and that is reading. Number three, it is writing. Okay, writing has two parts. In academics, there is a table or a graph. Simply put, graphic information is given to you. It can be a table, it can be graph, line graph, pie chart, whatever. And then you will have to write 150 words in 20 minutes. That is the first part. Second part, there's an essay. You have to write an essay of 250 words. The essay has 5 different types. Sometimes it's a problem solution essay, sometimes it's an argument, sometimes it's a double question, agree, disagree, that type of question. A question is given and you have to write 240 words, 50 words in 40 minutes. So altogether, academic writing test finishes in 1 hour. Now, when you come to general, the first question is a letter. So you are asked to write a formal or an informal letter of 150 words in 20 minutes. And then again, its second part is once again the essay. There is no difference between the essay that you get in general and academic, all the same. So the marks allocation, 40 marks for the 40% for the first part, 60% for the second part. And that's about writing. Speaking, you are given an interview. You will meet a face to face with an interview, an examiner, or sometimes because of the current situation, the pandemic situation, you might be asked to come for an exam where you meet the examiner on Zoom link. So imagine you are in Jaffna, the examiner will be in Colombo, and uh, the exam will be done on screen. People who come from Maldives also the same thing. Um, for the moment, Matara, Kurunagala, Batiklo, Jaffna, all these places, we are having VCS, that is video callings speaking test. So this is the overview of what is tested in the exam. By the way, speaking has 3 sections. Section 1 is an interview. The examiner will ask you simple questions, day-to-day questions. What do you do? Where do you live? Do you have any hobbies? What public holidays you like? Things like that. Simple questions. Second part, you are given one topic card and you have to prepare for 1 minute and deliver a long turn, that is a speech. It's not public speaking, just a speech in 2 minutes. And the third part will be based on the second part, and the examiner will converse with you. You can give your opinions, whatever you think about that topic based on the question. So this is the overview. So today, let us see how we can train ourselves. I'm not talking about going to a class. That's up to you. You may go to a class and find a tutor and prepare with those people, or you can even do a lot of things on the website. I have to tell you a warning about websites, using the right website at the end. So let us first, today we are going to look at preparing for reading. The winning point here, the most difficult part of the reading is the timing. Okay, because you have to read 3 long passages and then answer 40 questions, and all this has to be finished in 1 hour. So in general training, sorry, I'll start with academic. Academic training, there are 3 passages. You can spend equal time in each passage, 20 minutes on each question sections, and then 3 sections, 1 hour, you'll finish. I would recommend general people to finish the first 2. This is my recommendation. Depending on your style, your speed of reading, things may change. But my recommendation to you is finish the first part and the second part within 30 minutes, put together 15 minutes for each section, and spend half an hour on the third part. Then in that way, you will have a full half an hour to look at the last question, because the last question, that is the third part, is almost the same as all the other three parts in the academic. So you need to have some more focus there. That is very, very important to notice. Okay, that is my first tip for that. Now, how do you prepare? There's nothing else but prepare a lot. If you want to swim, just go and jump in the swimming pool with an instructor, of course. In this case, do a lot of practice. I would recommend that you do at least 20, 25 papers before you go to the test, because the exam is expensive. I think about 30,000 something. So when you do the exam, if you want to repeat it, that's going to be a waste of time. Not only that, your morale will be lost, you will be discouraged, you will be frustrated to do that once again. Therefore, practice is the main thing here. Do a lot of practice. As they say, practice makes perfect. So do as many tests as possible. Now, also, some people say read articles outside to improve your speed. Speed reading, as I told you once again, let me emphasize, it's a time game. Therefore, you need to read a lot. If you have time, say you have the exam about 2 months later, 3 months later, start now itself. Read outside IELTS materials, read the newspaper, read um, magazines, whatever interests you, read them. Read the newspaper articles, uh, the editorial, and things like that. But if your exam is next month and you have limited time, I highly recommend that you read all the question papers that are given. And my recommendation is you do the test, look at the answer, grade yourself, and then go back and read it on your own, just as you are reading a story or an article. Because there are so many interesting articles, topics about this, the academic as well as general third part. So read as much as possible. Because when you read, you will get lots of ideas about vocabulary, structures especially, and use the skills of reading, like chunking, using the commas in the right place, chunking information piece by piece, and understanding punctuation marks, understanding the topic sentence. There are so many things to look at. So do not expect to go to the exam hall on the exam day, read something and answer. No, you need to do a lot of practice. Then read practice tests in free time. Just ignore the questions and only read the text several times after you finish your writing, after you finish your test. And I would recommend that you keep a record of your answers. How many am I getting in the first part? How many am I getting in the second part? So all together, you can go to the website, British Council website or wherever, and you can type band score calculators. There are band score calculators. So one small example I can give you is you have to obtain more than 30 out of 40 to have a 7 band score. So depending on the band score, you set your targets. So that is how you do the reading part. Okay. So we are not going to go into mechanics of reading. There are other the methods in reading. There are other seminars that we can look at. Later on, I will give you some information. So now let's look at speaking. How do you prepare for speaking? Number one is you can download so many questions from the websites, from British Council websites and other places. And there is this Cambridge IELTS book recommended. They are all practice tests. Remember, there are no past papers for IELTS whatsoever. They are all practice tests and written by experts anyway. So use them. In speaking also, there are topics given. So those topics, take those topics, first part topics, second part topics, and also there are questions for the third one. So you practice with a friend, a partner. Maybe you can find somebody who is already doing the exam, or you can find somebody your in the family, somebody can speak English, or your friend who can speak a better English than you. So get together and practice with that partner. Let one person be the examiner, you answer the questions, the other person can be the candidate once again. So you vice versa, you just practice it. Another interesting thing you can use is use these devices. Nowadays we have these tablets, mobile phones, smartphones, computers, all these options are there. You can record your voice. And in the exam, examiners will look for your fluency, your vocabulary strength, of your vocabulary, and also they will look for the structures, what kind of structures you are using, grammar, that means, and also pronunciation. So when you use your devices and record your own voice, answering and asking and answering questions, then you will know your weak points. Then that is self practice. So if you have a teacher, it's a different story. So this even if you have a teacher, a lot of recording at home will definitely give you um, a lot of advantage. Next is focus on topic development. When somebody asks a question, don't just answer the question, give relevant information, more information. So some websites that want you some YouTube videos are actually misleading people. So they say just keep on talking until the examiner stops you. That is not the case. You have to answer the question, then practice with the partner to answer the question, and don't go outside the question, and learn to use vocabulary appropriately. Nowadays, lots of candidates memorize lots of words. Now, I can tell you some words that people come with. They memorize fauna and flora, mesmerize, however, and then there is another word here. These three words I can remember: mesmerizing, fauna and flora. Oh, these are three words, main words. So what they do is they just talk plethora. Sorry, just got the word plethora. So they use all these words, and they think they can get a 7 bands the moment they use this. So that is not the case. So your wording should be appropriate to what you're saying. So, for example, you can't say I come from Maradana, which is which is a mesmerizing place with plethora of shops. That's not a very good sentence, because knowing Maradana, you know it's not a mesmerizing place. It's a nice town. There are a lot of facilities, but it is not mesmerizing. Mesmerizing can be used like World's End, or you go to Peradine Gardens. You get a mesmerizing effect, but not in Maradana. So please remember that. Don't just memorize words. And also, I would like to warn you here, select appropriate YouTube videos. Some YouTube videos are misleading. They tell you examiners give marks for your gestures, your eye contact. Remember, examiners are not worried about your eye contact, your gestures, not your makeup, not what you wear, your hairstyle, the clothes that you wear. No. Examiners assess you from the language that you use, whether you are using good grammar, whether you have complex structures, is your pronunciation all right, and also whether you are using effective vocabulary. So that's the warning I want to give you. So these are some of those tips that I can give you about speaking. And in the next seminars, we might be looking at other skills as well, and we can go deeper if you can be with us. So when you prepare for your test from the comfort of your home, once you register, British Council will provide you some idea, some extra help. One is IELTS practice ebook. They will send you an ebook after you register, and the book has about 2 full tests. You can do fresh tests from the practice material. After practice material, you can come back and do this. And there will be a top tip seminar, just like this, but it lasts for 2 hours. For 2 hours, we will tell you each section we will take separately and give you very good idea about how to prepare. And then there is also a 2 hour writing skill workshop entirely for writing, how to deal with the question, how to approach the questions. And we also give you an online free 30-hour course called Roads to IELTS. And that will be also very useful, 30 hours of practice you are getting. And then, of course, we will be getting library membership on a discount, on a heavy discount. At the moment, the library is not open, but soon we will be opening, and then you can make use of the library. I have seen people coming and spending the whole day at the exam, preparing for exam. You can use the DVDs, you can listen. All this will happen once you register for the exam with us. All right, now it is time for questions. My friend Krishanti is there. She will be um, giving us some questions, so we will answer. Oh.
Thank you, Naren. So there are no questions in the comment section yet. So what I'm going to do now is I'll ask a few questions which are asked quite frequently by test takers. So the first question, the most common question that is asked is, can I get a better score for my speaking test? when the speaking examiner is a non-native English speaker?
Excellent question, Krishanti. So many people ask this question for me also. Will there be foreigners, or they use the word foreigners? Will there be foreigners or Sri Lankans in the exam panel? At the British Council, 90% of the examiners are Sri Lankans. We have about two or three native speakers who are teachers at the British Council. And yes, so this is the ratio. But one thing you need to understand, whether you speak to a native speaker or a Sri Lankan, they are all trained in the same way. All these examiners are standardized by the same group of people. They have the same kind of information. They go through a very rigorous training program before being selected as the examiner. So wherever you do the exam, whoever is in front of you, you will be judged as same. There won't be any difference. So there is a myth. People say if you go to British Council, there are all uh, people from the UK will be there as examiners. Will I be able to understand? Don't worry. Do I look like a British person? No, I'm a good Sri Lankan. All right. Yes, Krishanti. I think that satisfies that question. I can't hear you. Sorry.
Thank you, Naren. The next question is, how can I prepare for computer delivered IELTS test or IELTS on computer test? Does the preparation for a test on computer differ compared to a test on paper?
Well done. So, as I told you, the content is the same. The question types, everything, the level, the standard are all the same. But the delivery, the what can I say? The mode is different. So you're looking at what you saw in the paper on the computer screen. Therefore, you need to practice on the computer screen as well. So don't worry if you don't imagine it like a PDF format or a Word format. It's a different format you are given. When you go to the exam, the questions will be on the left hand side, the answers on the right hand side. You can scroll up and down different frames. To do that, to not to get shocked when you go to the exam, there are a lot of practice tests. Go to British Council website and type sample CD, sample computer delivered exam papers. You will get a lot of papers. There are two different types of material I have seen. One material is giving each section, each separate sections, about a lot of practice on one section, and again they go to another section, and also there is a full test. So you can do the listening, reading, all tests on the computer, on the website, official websites. But again, once again, warning: go to the standard websites, because I have also seen some very confusing questions on in the web. Yes.
And fee, the IELTS test fee or the registration fee at the moment is 31,500 rupees. And there is another question around the upcoming schedule for the seminar. Yes, so the upcoming IELTS Top Tip seminar will happen on the 8th of November, and the writing skills workshops will happen on the 4th and 5th of November. Yes. And there's one more question that I want to ask you, Naren, which is also commonly asked by many test takers. That is, how long does one need to prepare for the test? Is there like a recommended time period?
All right. The more time you give yourself, the better the scores will be. But all depends on your level. So if your level is normal, if you are working in an environment where English is spoken, if you are a student who reads a lot in English, and then you might need, even in that case, give yourself at least 3 weeks if it is very new to you. So if you have already done the exam, it's a different story, because we know your level. Then you can depend on your level. You can increase your time. But if you are very new to the exam, you have to give at least 3 weeks to 4 weeks before you prepare. So book ahead. Before booking, look at some papers, do some practice materials, and then you will be able to decide when to register for the exam.
Yes, there's one more question. Do you You provide a ebook for the registered students.
Yes, that ebook has all the information, very good information, sample tests and answers for both academic and general. So the test is given, sample answers, right, written answers are given. So lots of instructions are given. So that could be a very useful one. Along with that, whoever asked that question, you will have a 30 hours IELTS online course, Road to IELTS, a free course, which also looks at all four skills. So that is also useful information, useful resource material for you.
Yes, and in addition to that, whoever who registers for the test with the British Council also gets free access to the Writing Skills Workshop and the IELTS Top Tips Seminar as well. Yes, so now we have come to the end of the session. If your question was not answered during the live session, please check the comment section an hour later because we will be going through the questions that are posted in the comment section soon after this event, and we will be responding to any question that has not been answered. So thank you very much for joining us, and we hope to meet you soon in another session, planning to share very useful tips for your writing and listening test. So have a pleasant evening and bye.
Thank you very much for inviting me, British Council. Thank you.